think we are live here. All right, we good? Okay. I'm going to tweet the link now here, so we'll give it a second for people to start filing in. Thank you for bearing with us. Yeah, with Dylan still feeling under the weather, it's been a lot of scrambling, a lot of running around. But we are here for post-game live. All right, great to see Brian present and accounted for. All right, I'm just tweeting out the link right now so everyone can get on here and join us for post-game live. All right, there we go. The link is tweeted out. Welcome, everyone. Let's see. We'll give it a little bit more time. I think we just got Brian in here pretty much. But yeah, thanks again for bearing with us. It's a little bit later, a little bit after game time. Ty, hello. All right, welcome, Ty. Lindsay, yep, jumping in with the yeah, definitely well-deserved for this game. A lot of type energy tonight. Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, great. All right, well. Can you hear me? Hello. Audio quiet. Let's try it. All right, can you hear me any better? Hello? All right. Is it quiet or silent? Okay, I was just really quiet. Is this better? You can hear me? Good, all right, thank you. Okay, good. Thank you, chat. All right, had to turn the gain up on the mic a little bit, set a little differently from when Dylan's running the stream. All right, let's see. So Lindsay with the yeah, Tyler with the with extra H's. Again, well deserved this game. Brian, thanks for all you're doing, RJ. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. I know this is a tougher one after this game and after a little bit of a gap. But thank you all for joining us here. All right, let's see. So yeah, everyone telling me my audio is good now. All right, Sergeant Pickles, can't stay. Tough game, everyone. Yeah, certainly was a tough game. I think, talking about, kind of like Hackstall and Drieger's takeaways really from the media availabilities. I think really, they liked the first period, and I did too. The second period is kind of where it all fell apart. The Vegas just poured it on in the second. The Kraken, especially after allowing that first goal, they weren't really the same. And we've seen that in the past this season where they'll allow a tough goal and it'll just kind of get to them. And I think that was certainly the case tonight. And then the third, they just got completely shut down, 100%. And Drieger even said, we ran out of gas. And I think that probably was the case. Let's see. Brian Gain for the win. Yeah, Mike Gain. That's what it's all about. Lindsay, I hope they can make adjustments and come back to beat them on Friday. Me too. And it's something that we saw in the last two games against the Kings, right? The Kraken made the adjustments they needed to make, and they had a convincing win in the second half of the two games. So I think, that's something that, it's certainly possible. And I don't think Vegas really blew them out of the water today. It wasn't like a domination or anything like that. I think you tweak the right things. You maybe get a bounce early on. You get rewarded for that good play, and certainly possible to go win the second half of these games. Stratic, 3-point night in Edmonton. Great opportunity to crush Vegas. Alas. Yeah, that's true. That's the last thing Vegas was rooting for, was a 3-point night for the Edmonton game. Probably worst case scenario with the Oilers winning that in overtime too. So still a rough night for them, but they get the win. Cameron, I wanted that win tonight. Cy, yeah, I think we all did. I think we all wanted that win a little bit extra too. Just, with Vegas being the opponent, I think we were all kind of hyped up for this game. Ty, 100% expecting to see adjustments. Yeah, for sure. And Hackstall hinted at that. He said, there are things we got to adjust. Wouldn't tell us exactly what. Obviously going to keep that kind of close to the vest, but definitely adjustments are going to be made. All right, Garrick. Who is Derek Pouliot? I've seen him a bit in the last game, and he seems to be really good in his passing and defense. So Derek Pouliot, it kind of flew under the radar with a lot of the Kraken's, trade acquisitions over the deadline. But he was picked up off waivers from the Vegas Golden Knights, actually. He's the former 8th overall pick 10 years ago in 2012, who didn't really, live up to that kind of potential. But, he's still a good player. He's still, got a lot of that talent there. And as Dylan points out, yeah, I mean, Pouliot's been a great passer since junior, has struggled in his NHL career with the defensive side and kind of rounding out his game. But hopefully he can find that in Seattle. And, when we did hear from Pouliot too in his first media availability after joining the Kraken, he said one of the things that the coaches have told him is, you just need to work on the defensive side of the game. And he says his mindset is basically like, look, with my talent offensively, like we all know what I can do offensively. So if I can just get the defensive side of the game right and be responsible defensively, then everything else is going to take care of itself. So I think he's off to a pretty good start here in Seattle with that. Let's see, Barbara, good morning. I actually watched the game because Vegas. Now I have to go to work. Wish me strength, please, and energy. Yes, wishing you strength, wishing you energy for your work day. Glad you got to watch the game, and thank you again for joining us. Again, all the way from the Netherlands. That's so cool. Love to see that. All right, Lindsay. On the bright side, LA Oilers went to overtime shootout. Yep, so that hurts Vegas. And Arizona won, so the Kraken's draft odds go up. Yeah, Arizona and Montreal just 1 point back, so still very much in the race for the first overall pick. Tyler, highlight of the game, Alexiak fight with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air music in the background. Yeah, they went there. They absolutely did go there. As soon as they dropped the gloves too, you could tell they had it on tap too. Like they were gonna play that for any fight that happened. And yeah, I mean it was a great fight too. I mean it lasted a while. Both guys got some good punches in. I hate that Kolasar, looks like a concussion probably to me, whether it was the fight or the hit from Sheahan or both. Hope he's all right. But yeah, that was a great bout. Let's see. Odacat, sadly the most frustrated I've been at a game, lol. I'm usually pretty positive, but I got fed up with 2 minutes left and couldn't watch further. Vegas is our real rivals. Yeah, I do think there's definitely a sense, at least on the Seattle end, of kind of that rivalry with Vegas. I think we've, kind of gathered that these last few days. Yeah, it was a frustrating game. Whenever you get shut out, it's tough. And especially, you finally get a goal, you finally break through and maybe have a chance, and it gets taken away on an offside review. It was a frustrating game all around. Lindsay, the Flying Dutchman's goal streak finally ended. Yes, it did end. Although I will say, I liked Sprong's game again. He didn't score, but he looked dangerous a lot of the time. He had some really good shifts. I think, he got a little quiet when the whole team did in the second and parts of the third. But, I mean, he still was as advertised. He didn't really play any differently, which was great to see. Let's see. Yeah, Dylan reminding everyone to like the stream. Yep. Love to have Dylan in chat there. Let's see. Striatic. Drieger's pads look sweet, though. Definitely an Eldritch or Eldriegerich horror vibe with all those eyes. Oh, that's great. Yep. Yeah, the pads with all the eyes. It's a cool design. That's for sure. All right, Brian, in a losing effort, my 3 stars. First, Drieger. Second, Lind. Third, Kuhlman. I got to agree with you. I think that's spot on. Drieger, obviously, we saw how well he played. Didn't get any goal support from the team, which is unfortunate, but he was absolutely on his game. And I like that you pointed out Lind and Kuhlman. Lind had some really good chances in the first period and early in the second, too. It's amazing he still doesn't have his first career goal. Like he's got to get that at some point. It's starting to feel like he's, not quite Donskoy level, but the pucks just aren't going in for him, but he's doing all the right things. And then Carson Kuhlman, yeah, another great game. He looks good with Yanni Gord. He's the closest thing we're going to have, I think, to a Colin Blackwell replacement. He stepped into that spot really well. And Brian also mentioning honorable mention Sprong. Yeah, as I talked about, Sprong has played well, including tonight. Ty, not a rival if they beat us every time. That is true. Not a rivalry until the Kraken get one. They'll have another chance to do that on Friday, and hopefully that'll kickstart some things. All right, got a little water here. Got to hydrate, All right, Lindsay, yeah, feel better soon, Dylan. Yeah, hopefully he does feel better soon. I know it's rough. He's definitely still feeling under the weather. Can't really talk right now, so it's all on me here. Let's see. Ty, whoa, Dylan incognito mode. Yeah, exactly. Just incognito here in chat. Yeah, Ty going to be there on Friday. Let's go. Yeah, got to shed the Tank Commander label. have to get the win there. Let's see. Tyler, seems like we don't win enough face-offs. Geeky's the only player over 50%. I'm hoping we can get a face-off specialist in the offseason. Yeah, face-offs actually was another area that Hackstall brought up after the game. He said that they lost face-offs in a lot of key spots in this game, and it hurt them. And I think he talked about face-offs, in a positive way in their last game against LA. Talking about that being a factor too. So it's definitely something that the coaching staff is seeing, something that we're all seeing. Face-offs are an area that need to improve, and I don't know. We'll see, who they have playing center next year. I think Beniers is probably going to get some chances there. He looked pretty good in the face-off circle, in these games that I've seen him for Michigan. Obviously, totally different level, when you get to the NHL, but maybe that can help too. Stratic pointing out, even though Sprong didn't score, I thought he looked pretty good all over the ice. Agreed completely. Dylan, pointing out, it could be Dylan, could be Afra. Who can say? Yeah, Afra definitely a very smart dog. She is smart enough to be typing this stuff. So I don't know who it is for sure, but we'll just enjoy that they're there either way. And Ty Coley looked lost after that hit, completely clean and mutual, but he took the brunt of it. Kolasar, it's tough. It was a clean hit. At first watch, I wasn't sure because it, obviously with the head kind of snapping back, but looking at the replay, it was definitely a clean hit. But yeah, just tough. He clearly rung his bell there. Reading ID. Hey, Dylan, you couldn't stay away. How rude that the D-skate goal reappeared to kick you when you're down. I know it's tough. I liked your tweet, Dylan, about, just the Kraken defenseman shouldn't wear skates. There have been so many goals off defenseman skates this season. It's ridiculous. And that one, as Hackstall, I think he said, that one had eyes. It really did. It just found its way through, unfortunately. Let's see. Hunter almost fell asleep during this one. Yeah, certainly in the third period, as it got a little bit later in the third period, there was nothing going on. And it was just so sloppy for both teams. I was talking with our podcast guest this week, Ken Bolke on Sinbin.Vegas, after the game. And he just was talking about the third period, so sloppy both sides. No one could get anything going, and he just kind of, went on about that. So definitely agreed, from people kind of following both teams there. Also, make sure to listen to, I'll plug the podcast now. Make sure to listen to our podcast, The Deep Dive. This week, we had Ken Bolke on from Sinbin.Vegas. Fantastic guest, always has interesting stuff to say. And he covers the Golden Knights. He runs, independent site like we do. He knows the Golden Knights inside and out. And we kind of covered, these two games that are, that are happening this week. Just great podcast for this week. Perfect thing to gear you up for the next game too. So make sure to give that a listen. Let's see. Lindsay, 14 likes with 18 watching is not bad. Feels like it's going to be a short stream tonight. Yeah, I think it is definitely going to be a shorter than usual stream tonight. I mean, it's already 11:15. It's, again, thanks for bearing with us here. With Dylan out, had to do the media stuff, had to kind of run back here because the Wi-Fi situation was a little iffy at my normal spot where I set up if I'm going to run the stream. So I could tell that wasn't really going to work. So just came back here to make sure that the stream wasn't going to drop off. But yeah, probably going to be definitely shorter than usual tonight. Let's see, Dylan, absolutely brutal. If I could talk, I'd have screamed. Yeah, I think a lot of us were kind of at that point. Greg, I hate being negative about guys, but am I the only one that thinks Eberle is sort of going through the motions? He doesn't hustle, etc. Even Panger ripped him on the broadcast. Positive, Drieger. Yeah, I mean, Eberle, it's definitely kind of been on and off from him. I think, as soon, once the Kraken were really out of contention, I think the effort hasn't always been there every night from him, especially defensively. And I think, tonight it wasn't always there. It's tough. I think, him being with the Islanders, them going to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, used to being so competitive. He's not really used to playing this kind of hockey. It's not since back when he was with the Oilers. But yeah, I think that's probably, that might be the case. And yeah, Ty pointing out, Ebbs did a lot of puck watching tonight, lol. And let's see, Stratic. Seattle definitely has some problems with passing accuracy, especially in transition. Not sure how they can improve that, but it's noticeable to me. Maybe my eyes are lying. No, I think you're right. When it's not going well, it goes really poorly. And that's something they've had a problem with all season. I thought it went really well the last game in LA as I watched it back. And that's one of the reasons they did so well in that game, is because, they were able to, in transition, get those quick passes up the ice. If you look at the Kraken published an article, Analytics with Allison today, and Allison, does a great job pointing out, she uses this play as an example where there's a nice little chip pass out along the boards. I think it was Gord or Kuhlman. One of them finds the other one, and it's that quick passing in transition, getting it back to the middle for the center lane drive. That kind of stuff drives a lot of their success, and it just wasn't really clicking tonight. Reading ID, Drieger talking about working on mental health tonight too. Love that for him. Absolutely. And I definitely wanted to talk about that. Yeah. Drieger, said he's been seeing a sports psychologist the last couple weeks, kind of tweaking some things in his routine, adding some things, taking some things out. And I think that's fantastic that he's doing that. And he was asked, did you initiate that? What was the process? He said, yeah, I initiated that. Drieger, when the season, and he said, when the season's not really going the way you want, you have to take advantage of the available resources. And it's great that he's doing that. And you can see it's paying dividends too. He's playing a lot better now. He's, seems just in better position, more focused. I think it really has helped him. And I think that's a great message too. Not just for, Drieger or even for hockey players, but for everyone. When things aren't going the way you'd like them to go, it helps to take advantage of some of the available resources if you can. It's always okay to go, for help and try and better yourself that way. Again, love that for him, and love that he's, kind of willing to talk about it too. Let's see, Ty, you can see them fall into this someone do something mode. Problem is we don't really have someone to ignite that fire. You need players like Ebbs to step up in those moments. Yeah, you do. And I think, someone do something mode is a good way to describe it. When things really weren't going right, especially in the second period, just kind of hoping that someone would provide the spark. But again, you need someone to go do that. It's tough because Eberle actually, I think, was the one who tapped home that, that goal with the goalie pulled and everything and looked like, oh, we're back in it. And then, of course it gets taken away with the offside review. So that's just tough. Striatic, these national broadcasts. I miss Forsland and Brown and Lucan every time. Yeah, I didn't watch the TNT broadcast. Definitely got some tweets about it on the negative side of things. But when you've got a team like, Forsland and JT Brown and Allison, of course you're going to miss them because it's one of the best teams there possibly is. So at least I got to to listen to Allison today, which was nice. She pointed out, and I don't know if they mentioned this on the broadcast, but she pointed out this morning that this is the first time ever that the Kraken have had the same forward lines and D pairs for 3 games in a row, which really gives an insight into just kind of the injuries, the COVID stuff, how little consistency they've been able to have with their lines. But I thought that was a great observation from her. And of course it was her making that observation. So I thought that was interesting. Don't expect it to last until next game, unfortunately. But we'll see how it goes. Let's see, Brian. Yes, I'm with you on Ebbs, and glad Panger mentioned him as Dylan brought up a couple games back. Quote, stop skating when he crosses the blue line. Yeah, He does have a tendency to do that sometimes. Let's see, Ty, RJ, reading ID and I will be there on the 9th pregame mini meet. That's why I asked Lindsay. Oh, okay. So we could probably set something up like that. Let's see. The 9th is, what day is that? I'm going to check the game calendar, remind myself which game that is, because April is a busy month. For the Kraken. Let's see. The 9th, Calgary. That's the Saturday game, Calgary. Yeah, and I think that's what is that? 4:00 game? Yeah, we could definitely do something. That would be fun to do an ECH meetup. And again, we'll also definitely want to do one once Dylan's up here too. Dylan said, yeah, just mute the TNT broadcast like I do. Yeah, that's the way to go. Absurdly saying, yeah, the root team are so much better than the network people. I do agree. Lindsay, don't have tickets, but I live close enough to the arena that I could pop by for a meetup before the game. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'll work on that. We'll set something up because I think for the 4:00 game, that'd be pretty fun. Let's see. Hunter, one of the TNT commentators was chirping with a Kraken fan on Twitter. Interesting. I did not see that. Which one was it? Who was it? I got to go look that up and find that. Joey, they looked pathetic at times. Certainly, I think, as Drieger said, they ran out of gas. And yeah, it looked pretty bad. Certainly by the time the third period got there. Yeah, see, Stratic. I should mute and add the radio feed, but I was also following you guys on Twitter, and the Oilers game just run out of devices. Yeah, there's so much to follow too. Let's see. Oh, Hunter, I think it was because he said the Kraken were bottom dwellers. Yep, going with that little bit of wordplay there. Yeah, bottom dwellers. That'll probably set someone off. Tyler, Eberle had a nice goal tonight. Oh, wait, that got called back because of offsides. Seems like we've had a good amount of goals get called back this year. Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it? I mean, it's hard to kind of calibrate like from one season to the next because, I've like just as a fan followed teams before, following the Sharks. It felt like there were always, a few goals taken back every season, but this does feel like kind of a high amount for that. So, hey, you know what? That'd be a good one to ask Allison on, see if that actually is, the Kraken are actually at the top of the league or something like that. She'd be able to figure that out in a matter of seconds. Yeah, that might be one to ask her. Yeah, Ty pointing out this arena is going to blow your mind. SAP won't be the same. Yeah, Climate Pledge Arena is awesome. And also talking to Ken from Sinbin, this was his first time at Climate Pledge Arena, and he just kept talking about how great it was, how awesome everything was, comparing to Vegas or any of the other arenas he's been to. He said certainly best view from the press bridge, and he loved the windows, and he just thought it was a fantastic building. So he's definitely impressed by Climate Pledge Arena. So we all do have it very good. Lucky to have such a great arena. Let's see. Yeah, Dylan pointing out he's coming later in the month, wants to meet as many of you as he can. We'll definitely set something up to meet as many of you as possible when Dylan's in town. Lindsay, well, I wouldn't use the term bottom dwellers, but we certainly do live in the deep. Lol. Yeah, no, I think, the whole, and certainly the bottom of the Pacific, it's definitely there for the taking. That's for sure. Ty pointing out TNT does have the shots on goal counter and shot speeds too. Yeah, that is cool. The shots on goal counter, again, got to have that en route. We got to, bug the right people to get that there. Sasquatch, Drieger amazing tonight. He should get all 3 stars. Kraken need to bring it this Friday. The home crowd deserves more than they brought to the table this evening. Also get well, Dylan. Yeah, Drieger was amazing. I mean, he certainly in the running for all 3 stars if you're just talking about, the Kraken players. And yeah, the crowd was great too. I mean, brought a lot of energy from the start. It felt like it was one of the louder crowds of the year. Obviously, at the end, the energy really just got sucked out of the building. And I don't blame anyone for that. That's, aside from, the team's play, but yeah, really loud, really excited, ready for something to happen. The first Drieger save on that power play, when they allowed the shorthanded breakaway, that was some of the loudest I've heard the building get. Like everyone was cheering as loud as they could. A lot of people on their feet for that one. Unfortunately, then they got to allow another breakaway, maybe 15 seconds later and it goes in the net. So that was rough, but yeah, crowd did great. They do deserve better on Friday. Let's see. Joey, we go from a 6-1 win to a home game where we can't do nothing. Very disappointing. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different than the last LA game. I thought at the start it was a similar effort, but the second period they just came out flat, and then they kind of ran around defending a lot, and as Drieger said, they ran out of gas. Sasquatch, the TNT broadcast spilled into Twitter tonight too. Okay, I definitely have to go check that and see all the TNT Twitter stuff, because that sounds like it got very interesting. Cameron, I wonder in April how Root is going to handle the Kraken/Mariners. That is an interesting question, because I know they have a lot of people who work on the Root broadcast team who have done both or who do both. So yeah, we'll see if they make any adjustments there. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Reading ID, woo, would be so hyped to meet up. That's the Pride game too, so vibes will be great. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to that one. And yeah, we'll see what we can set up as far as a meet. Ty, I've watched Vegas a few times live this year, and they always have good zone entry. If you can't stuff them in the neutral zone, they come in and hang out as long as they want, it seems. Yeah, and certainly in the second period, I think it was you, Ty, actually, that pointed out as like a point. Vegas can do anything they want up the middle through the neutral zone. The Kraken were just letting them have it, and if you do that, they're going to get a lot of offensive zone time. So that is a really good observation. Yeah, the Kraken just could not go up the neutral zone well enough. All right. Time to hydrate a little bit more. Hang on. Okay. Man, I forget how nice it is to have Dylan to just like take a second, give me a little breather if I need to grab some water or something else. Oh, it's a lot to do this by myself. I miss you there, Dylan. Let's see. Garrick, does Ebbs usually stop the blue line because he's thinking a little more defensively, or is it something else? I think at times it's just kind of laziness on the back check. I think at other times it's, at other times maybe it's looking to go the other way with the puck and turn something around quickly. But, either way, you've got to keep the feet moving. I mean, you look at a guy like Yanni Gord or Jared McCann or any of these other forwards, they're always keeping their feet moving. It's just something you have to do. Hunter, Paul Bissonnette was the commentator. Oh, okay, so Biz Nasty getting into it on Twitter. Yeah, not surprised. Let's see. Yeah, Ty pointing out on the defensive blue line also, which is kind of what I was referring to on the back checking there. Reading ID, for everyone that muted the broadcast, you missed my fave part. They tried to hype up their fancy oh yes, this was great. Okay, so yes, they tried to hype up their fancy algorithm about face-off odds, and then they pulled up the matchup, and it was 50-50. Like, we've got this advanced like AWS algorithm, that scientifically determines what the odds are on this face-off. All right, let's throw it out here, and they have 50-50. That was amazing. That was my favorite part. I did go back and look at that. Someone pointed that out to me on Twitter. Fantastic. Love that. Reading ID, we are so spoiled with Allison. Ty, Allison is amazing. She really is. Like, there's not much more I can say. Like, she's just awesome, and it's great to even just be around like at morning skate too. Like, what you see as far as the stats and everything she brings up is just the tip of the iceberg. She's fantastic. Lindsay, I won a free drink at Kraken Trivia last night for getting the bonus question right about Paul Bissonnette. Nice. Oh, that is awesome. Good for you, Lindsay. That's some good hockey trivia there. Always got to know the Biz Nasty trivia. Brian, gotta run, fam. Getting up in 3 hours. Oh my goodness. Brian, thank you for sticking with us. Great job, RJ. Get better, Dylan. See y'all here next game. Thank you for joining us, Brian, for sacrificing your sleep so you could join this awesome community. So glad to have you here, Brian. All right, Garrick. Forsland and Allison would have been an awesome tandem, but Forsland and JT are really good. Yeah, you can't go wrong. As Dylan and I have talked about, the Kraken have the deepest bench in NHL broadcasts. It's amazing the depth that they have, with Forsland and JT, and then Everett and Allison, and just it's such a great crew that you can't go wrong. Ty, it's interesting to me that VGK had better balance across their time on ice versus Kraken. Only thing I can think of is penalties. They were down guys and had a weird lineup. Yeah, I think that's the case. Also, again, they're missing a lot of their star players with the lineup that they have. It's not, full of star power where you're going to see lopsided ice time. Also, the fact that they were leading, I think once they went up 2-0, you can really start rolling your lines a bit more. And then I think they were down to, because they only played 11 forwards, and then Kolasar got hurt, so they were down to 10 forwards. You've really got to spread things out there so no one's playing too much. Let's see, Sasquatch, the one-man show struggle is real. I can totally relate. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. And I know some people joined you, Sasquatch, before hopping on here. So that, that was cool that the delay allowed them to do that. Lindsay, LMAO, that was so funny when they pulled up, the 50-50 face-off odds. Not once, but twice. Very underwhelming. Oh, that is great. I love funny moments like that. Ty, another interesting thing I've noticed is entering the zone. We love to skate at our own players. Makes me scratch my head every time, lol. Spread the D and make some moves, boys. Week 5 and squirts, lol. Yeah, at some level, there is, kind of some basic things. There are definitely, plays where you can, skate toward one guy. You can have like a drop pass coming across. There are some plays you can do like that. You don't always see that with what the Kraken are doing, when they're entering the zone. I liked, again, that example that Allison brought up from the last game on the analytics article that she wrote, where you have that pass up the boards and you get it to the forward in the middle, and you get that center lane drive, you get the wingers out wide. And what that allows you to do is the 2D are going to converge in on the forward in the middle. It opens things up for those wingers. And then Gord, what he did, it was, he dropped it to Victor Rask. It was on the Victor Rask goal from the last game. And then Gord and Kuhlman just drive to the net, and it gives Rask space to go, take that shot through a screen. I think you can be a little bit more varied in their looks. They did a great job with it in LA, but not so well tonight. And Striatic, I want Pouliot to get a revenge goal. That waiver claim would be totally worthwhile just for getting a revenge goal on Vegas. Yeah, absolutely. And this morning, Pouliot said that he kind of had this game circle on the calendar since he checked the calendar after getting to Seattle. So he was looking forward to this game. Even though, he wasn't even with Vegas for very long. I talked to Ken today, about Pouliot and the revenge game angle. And Ken's like, yeah, we never met him. He wasn't really around long enough with the Golden Knights for us to even meet him before he got claimed on waivers. But he was definitely in their organization for a while. And he'd like to, to show his worth certainly after they waived him. All right. So I think, we're hitting the 30-minute mark just about, and we've reached the end of chat. So last call, this is definitely going to be a shorter stream, but last call, comments, questions, what have you. Let's get some in here before we go. Ty, Friday night, a different team needs to show up. I'll yell as much as I can, lol. Yes, yell, cheer them on, and hopefully a different team shows up. But I will say, this season the Kraken have done a good job responding after some of these lackluster games. And you saw that with the 2 games in LA. I think we'll definitely see a better effort on Friday. And then Sasquatch, did you see Clayton Keller broke his leg tonight for Arizona? Yikes, it was not pretty. Yeah, I did see that. That was awful. Yeah, hoping the best for him too. That just absolutely hate to see that. It's so dangerous when you have a guy going to the boards awkwardly. One of the worst, the things you can have. It wasn't as bad as the Keller thing, but I have broken my leg playing hockey, slamming into the end boards. It's not pretty. It's not fun. And just always hate to see it. Lindsay, night ECH fam, get well soon, Dylan, and let's go to Vegas. Do to Vegas what we did to LA. Response game. Yes. All on the response game train. And, even if the Kraken can just, take 2 points from Vegas, it's still going to deal a huge blow to them. They really need all 4 out of this trip. So still plenty of chance to take something away from Vegas. Dylan, great job. RJ should be back for Friday, everyone. We can celebrate a Kraken win. Great to hear that. Great to hear that from Dylan. And hopefully we do have him back on Friday. Would love to see that because it's not the same without you, Dylan. And we certainly all miss you, me more than anyone. So Ty, I'm in section 1, so no creepy RJ pictures from me on Friday, lol. Yep, there you go. Reading ID, have a good night all. RJ, awesome job holding it down. Dylan, I hope you're hydrating wherever you are too. Yeah, make sure you're hydrating, Dylan. I literally don't know how to super chat or I would get you Gatorade tonight. Yeah, the super chat, I know people have had to teach other people that, that I've seen. So, but thank you for the sentiment, Reading ID. Appreciate it. Ty, great time to get sick, Dylan. You should be ready to go for April. Yeah, get it out of the way now. Rest up, heal up. Certainly saying good night. Yep, all the good nights. Last chance to beat those doorknobs. This year. Let's do this. Yep, that's a good sentiment to end it on. And see you all on Friday.